Thank you so much for taking the time for speaking with us today.
Thank you for being here in Hutto ISD.
Tell me, are you excited for this upcoming school year?
Oh, we are so excited. In fact, we're all in for the win.
You know, I think the biggest storyline here, not only in Hutto, but really Williamson County, is growth.
Yes.
When we talk about growth, explain how Hutto ISD is tackling that moving forward, especially into this year.
Well, thankfully, the taxpayers, the community, they have contributed to the 2023 bond, and that has helped prepare us to have schools big, beautiful, and capacity. And bringing the new Creekside High School on, we opened a new elementary school last year. We'll be opening a new comprehensive high school next year. So we have been very excited to prepare our kids in our community for all the growth and being prepared to make sure that we can welcome all the families that are coming to Hutto, because they are coming.
And that new school, not opening this year, but the following year, right?
Yes. In the fall of 27, we will open Creekside High School, and they will be the Hippos as well, but they do have a name, and their colors are orange and navy. We'll be welcoming them with open arms and excited to start a new tradition.
How are y'all planning to facilitate that transition this year?
We hired the new principal that is going to oversee that process. We are working on with our athletics programs and our fine arts programs to make sure that we have smooth transitions for where kids will go, where kids will be, and how we can make sure that all of our programs are very successful. We are working on the branding side with our architects and our community and so many things. I do think that we have to prepare for staffing. We'll hire a band director, we'll hire a head football coach and coordinators and all of those things, in addition to officers, because it takes a while for officers to come on. So we have a few staffing positions that we'll be hiring up so that they can get us personnel ready for the 27 school year.
Talk to me about teacher retention. How are y'all making that a priority and making sure teachers are staying here in Hutto for the long term?
Yeah, so one of the priorities for the school board is that we keep teachers that see 80% student growth. And so that's a priority for me and how they evaluate me. And so for us, we're making sure that we are pouring into our staff top trainings, top growth potential. We're looking at strategic compensation plans. We're working with TEA on that. 95% of our teachers are eligible for the teacher incentive allotment. And then we're working on a lot of strategic staffing incentives from our police officers, which we're now able to fully be staffed with our police officers, to our principals, assistant principals, counselors, all of the above. Everybody's getting an opportunity to earn more.
And I did a story a couple of months ago just kind of following up on the teacher apprenticeship program that y'all have instilled in the area. I know there's a lot of things, not only here in Hutto, teachers, the districts were trying to rebound from COVID, right?
Yes.
Talk to me about how that program has continued to evolve and how that will continue to supply the teacher demand here in Hutto ISD.
We have an incredible program that Dr. Kara Malone began here several years ago that basically we are allowing teachers the opportunity to be apprentices, to work under highly skilled teachers, to be able to learn the craft of teaching while they're going to school and getting the degree, and we're covering the cost. And so, but they have to say, hey, we're going to be here for a few years after. So that's kind of one of the benefits to Hutto ISD. But we really are focusing on the growth and development of that pipeline to help us be able to have quality teaching for years to come. And so we are so grateful for that, and that is a huge draw. We ask teachers, what made you choose Hutto ISD, and staff members, and a lot of that is the apprenticeship program.
Do you feel like doing things like that really help for not only the short term for Hutto ISD, but for the long term, especially with the growth that's projected to come in the city?
Absolutely, because Dr. Malone will always say there's not a teaching problem, there's an opportunity problem. And so it is providing so many people an opportunity to be able to work and get their degree and be able to be in the pipeline to be successful. And there is an opportunity there for people that haven't had that opportunity before.
Talk to me about how y'all are trying to be sustainable with all the decisions you make now, because 10 years, 15 years down the line, Hutto could look very different. We're kind of talking about it earlier, how like, you know, some schools, they plan so much early on. Now later on, they're kind of like, okay, there's too many schools, demographics have changed. Tell me about how y'all are planning the future.
Well, one thing, we assembled our long range facilities planning committee, and we're working with a lot of consultants in our community to be able to say, what do we see the future of Hutto and Hutto ISD to look like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20, and what will education look like then? We work with our community and we work with our people and we hire some experts to make sure that we are ready, and our school board to say, what do you see? What is your vision and for our community? And so for us, when we are doing that, we are assembling the greatest people and going, hey, what does innovation look like? And whether that is making changes to school systems and the way that we do different schools, offering, I would say, STEM schools or a CTE elementary, and whether there's an early childhood center, all of those types of things, like those are conversations that we regularly have. We are repurposing Creekside High School in the event that the industry changes. We are prepared for all different types of industries to come into Hutto, and we want to partner with them to be able to help set our school and our community up for success.
And budgeting for all of that, of course, is a huge task. How are you guys evaluating what takes priority, what doesn't take priority, on what sometimes is hard to put together?
So the budget always starts with the school board. Those are the things of what are the priorities of the school board. And so we take that, we look at our historics, and then we look at the tax values and we make sure that we are taking care of that. We balanced our budget this year. We adopted a balanced budget. That is something we hadn't done in 6 years. And so that was something that was a big win for us. We obviously look at staffing models and all of those things when you're budgeting, but it's also about how you can be efficient with taxpayer dollars. And so every little thing when you're talking about looking for the future, we're always looking for the most efficient way to be able to take care of our community. I mean, honestly, I look at it like that's my granny's money right there. And so I just want to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars.
Are there concerns related towards recapture or anything that could help fund public education here?
Well, Hutto ISD is most definitely a recapture district. And so we do send back a good chunk of money to the state. I have been in multiple school districts that are recapture school districts. I actually am from Midland, where they decided to take on that. I do think that recapture is something that we want to, the financial system of schools, that I really think should be reevaluated and considered.
We were talking about earlier HB3, the bill that was passed a couple of years ago to make sure there's an officer in every single school, literally a police department in this high school, right? Talk to me about like how that has overall been orchestrated, how y'all have established that, how things have been going with that.
So we are fully staffed. We have Chief Gobbin, who is our new chief, and if you haven't checked out their Facebook page, it's a lot of fun. They're having a good time. But they are doing all kinds of trainings. We are very fortunate to be fully staffed, but fully staffed for us looks very different than just one officer for campus. So if you have an officer out, then one is not covered. So you have to make sure your campuses are covered. So that takes the staffing and the personnel. It is a heavy cost. People don't think about vehicles and they don't think about the personnel and all of those things, the equipment that they have to be able to do their job and be prepared for just about anything. And so those costs are ultimately not considered at the state level. And so that is something that we are very thankful that is a priority when it comes to our school board, to make sure that we do what we can to keep our kids and our community safe.
Is it a challenge to be fully staffed, in all honesty?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everybody is looking for officers. So we did something very creative this year, an officer incentive allotment, so that, that they have the opportunity, if they are mental health certified, then they have the opportunity to earn an incentive allotment, et cetera. There's so many aspects to it, but yeah.
And from your position as a superintendent, can you speak a little bit about what oversight looks like from your perspective? Obviously you have a police chief, but like, do you get regular updates on hiring, staffing, equipment?
Chief Gobbin is a direct report to me. So we meet regularly to go over all of those things.
What are some benchmarks or some goals, some accomplishments you're looking to tell me?
One of my biggest goals is for us, last year we increased our CCMR scores. We want to move our district to a B district, and we want to be the premier district in Central Texas. And so for us, growth and development looks like building partnerships, making sure that we are excelling in academics and moving all of our schools and our campuses up a letter grade. And then the last piece of it will be making sure that we are ready to go for Creekside High School, and that we have 2 comprehensive high schools and that are ready to be their own unique and individual schools that are staffed and excited about the 28th school year.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time for being able to speak with us, and I hope you all have an amazing school year.
Thank you so much.